Aloha, my name is Daynin Dashefsky and I'm here with Scotty Kobold with Impact Jiu-Jitsu in Clackamas, Oregon. And what are we going to learn today?
Armbar for mount.
All right, so I'm going to have you put your head over there and I'm going to mount you. Come back a little bit more, there we go. We can catch everybody in. Now again, we always want to start with a solid position. We don't ever want to be mounting or sitting and leaning forward and sitting on their legs. They're going to launch us forward and we're going to go flying. So we want to make sure we're solid, sitting on their stomach or their belly button. Our knees are all the way up and we're actually squeezing our legs. We're not just like relaxing and letting them, they're going to get their elbows in and escape. So it's really important that when we get them out, we're actually holding them like we're riding a bronco bull or a horse or our legs are bookends. And we want to make sure that they can't turn. We want to spread our arms apart with a little bit of bend in our elbow so we can make sure that we can move if they move. Now, most times when people are on the bottom, they're going to protect their neck. And so when the armbar from the mount happens, if you notice on my wrist, there's this little curve here. Now, when you get someone who's really good at elbow discipline and holding that elbow down, it's going to be really hard for me to push my hand under there. So the area that we want to go in is right where the wrists and the neck are, because there's a little bit of gap in there. So if he's holding his base, I'm going to first of all lean to one side and attack the same side. The reason why I don't do two things, one is I never do this. Come up and try to grab the wrist and then try to attack the arm. I've just taken my post away. So if he bumps me, I'm going to go flying. And I don't want to do that. I always want to have a post. I always want to be solid and in control. Also, if I just come here and keep my body straight and I go here, he's going to grab my wrist and trap and roll me, which means I'm going to go over this way and we'll roll back. So I want to make sure that I'm going to readjust my weight so that my base is still strong. So from here, I'm going to go right where his wrist and his elbow. I'm going to push my hand all the way through. Once it's all the way through, I'm going to roll it over and I'm going to grab his bicep. Once I grab his bicep, I'm keeping my weight low so he doesn't bump me. I'm going to lift up just a little, enough to push that arm over, and I'm going to use my body to crush. I'm not letting this go, but I'm using my body to crush and to hold him. So that way he can't move his arm back this way. Can you move it?
Nope.
Really tight, right? Because I'm using my body, not my arm strength, okay? Now once I'm here, my hand's usually right here. If I try to slide up, my hand's in the way. So I want to reposition my hand, back up here. Why don't we back up just a little bit so we're on camera here. So once I've got the arm and my body is down, keeping the pressure on, I move my hand up. Now I'm going to put this toe over here in the mat, if you want to catch this, Ashley. So again, we're here. I'm going to put my toe in the mat. I'm going to use that to launch me forward and slide this knee forward. Removing that, I'm going to slide it forward. And I'm going to pass his head with my knee. I want my knee to go above the head, and I'm going to immediately bring my foot all the way up under his armpit. That allows his elbow to go above his shoulder. When his elbow goes above his shoulder, he loses strength. So especially if they're big and strong, we want to be able to have as much advantage, if we don't have as much strength, we want to get as much advantage as possible. So we're leaning this way. So if he starts to move around, I'm just going to move around with him, right? And I'm just stabilized. Once he's stabilized, I'm going to come over. As I lean over, I'm going to look for that wrist, pop my leg out, put it over his head, and break, coming up. And then this is what I call sit up and suck up. If I just grab it and immediately go down, now what's happening is I'm actually squeezing over here below. Once the elbow gets to between my legs, once it gets between my legs or lower behind, I can't armbar him. I've lost the armbar. The elbow has to be passed. So if I just fall down, the elbow's already passed and I can't get it. I'm going to have to suck it up. So I always call it sit up and suck up. Whenever I'm about to come around, I'm going to readjust by sucking his arm up and I'm going to squeeze the ball of his shoulders, not the bicep. Now it's nice and tight and he's going to tap much faster. Always thumb away from me. Now here's another thing a lot of people do. They grab it and they throw themselves back and they attach the arm to him. Now, yeah, that works and people tap, but sometimes if they're really fast, especially in competition, you do it so fast and sometimes you lose control of your fall, you're going to end up tapping or hurting them before they have a chance to tap. So I always make it a habit that my body goes down first. Now I can control the arm coming down until I get the tap. So again, really important to always stay in control, no matter what. Always stay in control of your position. So we'll go through it one more time a little smoother. He protects the neck. And I'm going to get in my nice solid position of mount. I'm going to lean this way, pushing my hand all the way through, readjusting and using my body to hold that arm down to the side. I readjust my hand, put my toe in the mat, and slide myself always with the foot in front of me. Never, ever put your foot in front of you this way or in the back of you. You want it in front of you, no space. And I immediately bring my leg up. Now, here's a little tip, especially for women, whether you're a guy doing it to a woman or a woman doing it to a woman. Now, women have breasts, so a lot of times people will slide up and stop right at the bottom of the breast. But the problem with that is if he gets his hand under, no, the other way, he can scoop his hand under there, and now I've lost the position. So it's really important if you're training with a woman that you go over and into the armpit. You want the arm to come up. So don't stop short or they're gonna bend their arm under and escape. So always come immediately up, always leaning your weight forward. When you lean your weight forward, it makes it really hard for him to fight back. It doesn't matter if he kicks his legs around, moves around, or tries to bump. I'm still in control. He's just wasting his energy. Now when I'm done, I'm gonna sit back, reach up, grab the wrist, pop my leg over the neck. Now here's the other detail. Don't bring your legs up like this. If I have, yeah, he can move out, or I'm giving him room to oompa up and push me over because his head has space to come up. So I'm gonna show you a little trick at the end here. Once I'm up and I get the wrist, I don't wanna just fall back. I'm gonna lose the elbow. I wanna suck up and now squeeze the arm or the ball of the shoulder. I go down and now thumb facing up here and lift. So two little things I'm gonna show you. You ready? This is the fun stuff, the little details. Let's turn sideways. Okay, first, it's really important for physics that lift up your head. A lot of times we lift up our head when we're imagine arm barring someone. We want to look at who we arm bar. We want to see us destroying them or tapping them out, right? So when we lift up our head, if you imagine a rubber band from the tip of your spine all the way to the bottom of your spine or your lower back, when you stretch your head up, you're tightening that rubber band. So now try and lift your hips up. How far can you lift them? Okay, so he's pretty good. Now watch this. Put your head back. Now see how high you can lift your hips. See how much more extension he has? So if he has somebody who's really flexible and he's going up and he's wondering why he's not tapping, you know, you put your head down because now you're gonna get so much more lift. The other thing is if you wanna come back just a little bit towards the middle, I'm gonna show your head. There's a couple of ways I like to hold, actually let's turn this way a little bit, there we go. Couple of ways I like to hold the head down. Again, we never wanna keep this chin up because that gives them room to oompa. As long as their head is on the ground, they can't lift and oompa because they need to have the head off the ground a little bit to get some momentum. So we either have to keep our feet flat, which a lot of people tend to do, but it's really hard to, especially if they're big chested and your feet are off the ground, to hold that chin down. There's a little trick I like to do that really helps me, is I'll switch arms and I'll turn my chin and push it up into the mat. Now try to come up. It's really hard because he has no room to lift his head. So there's this little thing that I teach people. A friend of mine, Brian Wan, teaches me this. It's messing with your brain. And so if I just put a little bit of pressure on his forehead, I'm gonna make his brain think he wants to put his head back, like we wanna look up, but he wants to come up. So now watch this. Try to come up. Can you come up? Come on. You're a big, strong guy, come on. It's hard because I'm messing with your neurology. So, you know, we want to make sure that we keep that head down in different ways. And that was just a little kind of fun thing we did. But the basic thing is we want to keep their head on the ground. Once we give them a little bit of weight, they're going to oompa and try to stack us and come up. So if we can keep that head flat, we need to lower that leg and keep their chin down, or turn the foot a little bit and push that chin into the mat, and then it's really hard for them to come up. So what do you think?
I liked it.
Yeah? Did you ever think of that detail? Have you ever had that problem where you're looking up and you can't finish it because someone's really flexible?
Yeah, people flexible, or they slip out during the transition, get their shoulder to the mat.
So the key is trying to think of the physics of our body, put the head back, and it gives us so much more room to move. So I hope you like that.
I did.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.